say my life can change, and I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. I stand before you, Lord, and give you all.
And God did that. God sacrificed His only Son. God sent us Jesus. And Jesus is the answer to all the things that are going on in this world. Jesus is the way that we can go through to reach to God. So Christ is actually the fullness of God's love, as we can see in this verse. For God so loved the world. That's what God's love is. God's love was sacrificial, as what Elaine said. God's love was unconditional, as what love was mentioned earlier. It's unconditional, it's sacrificial. And all of us have that opportunity to just obtain God's love. And that is through Christ. Just to listen to the message of Christ, just to follow the teachings of Christ. That is the answer. That is the way to God. So thus in Jesus, it is when we experience the love of God. God's plan for us, for humanity, for mankind, can happen through Jesus Christ. So Jesus is actually the way. Jesus is right there. He's ready to take us in. Are you guys familiar with the story of the prodigal son? Familiar with that? The story goes where there were two children. One was very good. One was responsible. He worked all his life for the father, and the other one was just, I would say, he was a prodigal son, of course. he tried to waste away his father's riches. So he's like, well, Dad, can I get all my inheritance now? Because I want to live my life. I want to enjoy. I want to just go out, have fun, just spend everything. So it happened that this child, lost all the money that he got from the inheritance. The child was even suffering. The child even just wanted to be a servant, wanted to just tend to the pigs, just to feed the pigs. And so the story goes when the child sees the light, or just snaps out of it and says, well, if I'm serving another person, if I'm serving another master, why can't I just go back to my father's house? Why can't I just acknowledge the things that I've done against my father? Why can't I just go back and just ask for forgiveness? And he's willing to just even be a servant of his father. Do you guys remember what the father did? Remember what the father did? The father was like open arms. It was like, it's my son. He has risen from the dead. We haven't seen the son in a long while, and now he's back from the dead. He once was lost, but now is found. So that's how our God the Father is. God is just willing to just take us in, to take us back in. So later on, you'll learn more about Christ, about what we can do to build steps in establishing a relationship back to our Lord, to our Father. And that's very powerful because once you experience God's love, I guarantee you, things change. Not immediately, not like overnight, but things suddenly change. Like, let me just share with you how I felt God's love in my life. Just wanted to share how I felt God's love. Ever since I was younger, I'm a Catholic since birth. Since my family has raised me up like a Catholic, but my relationship with God is not always good. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I just take God for granted. I just when it's the good times for me, I always forget God. I always forget my relationship with Him. So there was a point in my life when, even though I studied in a Catholic school when I was younger, when I was in high school, I went to a science high school, and at that time, there was no religion, of course, because it's all science. know nothing about faith, nothing about religion. And it's just a time when I took God for granted. I was like, I felt that I'm more knowledgeable, or I'm more, I felt that I know everything because I was learning. I felt that I could just even challenge God. And I realized that, I'm just a man. I couldn't really understand what God's thinking is. So even though we learn a lot, our knowledge is not as great as God's knowledge is. So when I went back to college, and I joined it was like a mission to one of the far-flung provinces in the Philippines. I saw God in the children that we were helping. I saw God in the people that we're trying to help. Because these children that we were helping were children of farmers. So they had nothing. They had literally nothing. They were just tilling the land. And you could say that they were living below poverty line. So at that time I saw God's image in them. I saw the hope that God was trying to give to us. I saw that there's still hope in our world. There's still something that we can do. There's still something that we can share with our other brothers and sisters. And so through that mission, I became more enlightened. And I want to share, that message of sacrifice, that message of service, because we could say that we are in a better place. We are in a more I'd say blessed life. These people don't have anything to eat. They don't have anything, but it's in them that I saw the real joy. It's them that I saw the real happiness. Because happiness doesn't just come with riches, with wealth, with all the good life. Happiness simply comes from satisfaction in life, from just being happy that you're still living, you're still able to be a person who can spark something in the world. So that was a very powerful mission that I encountered. I really saw God's image in that province. I saw God in that mission, and from then on, I tried to share that. So that's why we're here. That's why we're actually doing this, because we want to share that. We want to share that God's love that we are experiencing. We want to share the wonderful things that God has in store for us. So another instance when I felt God's love was when I was still in Northern California. So for some of you know that I came from Northern California after college. I had a job in Northern California, and that was the time when I was alone in Northern California. That was my first job after college, and of course, as a new grad, you would just grab the opportunity just to find or land that first job. So I was in Northern California, and there was one time when I went back here in LA for a vacation. It was in Christmas. I went back here, and after my trip from Florida, when I came back here in LA, all of a sudden my foot just hurt, and literally I couldn't walk. Like I couldn't really walk. It's so painful that.